Welcome to the Artmiabo International Art Festival podcast. I'm your host, Gifton Yadike, here to speak to the minds behind the festival and the participating artists in the hopes of gaining an understanding of the work that went into this monumental event and give the outside world a window into the African art scene, which has been witnessing an incredible boom in popularity and notoriety around the globe. On this episode, I had the honor of speaking to a man who helped lay the very foundation for what we now know as Afrobeats. Founder and CEO of music label Storm 360, Nigerian Idols Judge, executive producer and creator of the hit docuseries Journey of the Beats, and perhaps the godfather of Nigerian art and entertainment, Obi Asika.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much for your time.
It's a pleasure, man. Pleasure to join you.
Thank you. So just for our listeners who may be unfamiliar with you, could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Obi Asika. I'm Nigerian. I like to think of myself as a global African. I spent most of my time working in the media, entertainment, technology, and innovation space in many different ways. As a public policy leader, now a lot in the last sort of 10 years, as an executive producer for television, music, live events, and digital. So I've been privileged to work in a lot of spaces, from sports to entertainment, from digital to technology, and we continue to push forward and try to do new things.
Thank you very much. Could you actually tell us a bit more about your professional journey, about what may have led you down this path?
Well, I think for me, it really comes from the way I was raised. Both my parents were intellectuals and academics, and very much from an early age surrounded by music and literature and performance art. And as I got older, it was sort of second to nature to me that, first of all, that African expression was world class. I never was one of these people that was questioning that or its validity. I think I saw that from day one, from the way I was raised, understood its value. And I was a talented student athlete and all of those things, but I wasn't necessarily a creative, but I'm blessed with the ability to recognize talent and be able to develop it. So, of course, been very much involved in the explosion of Nigerian popular music, which today is called Afrobeats. Being privileged to have led one of the labels that really drove the movement called Storm Records. We had some of the biggest artists, and we built a lot of stuff, especially with South Africa and with South African platforms like YFM, Channel O. These are platforms that were enormous in the early stages, maybe 20 years ago, 15 years ago, when we were building the movement out of Lagos.
That is incredible. So as you know, the theme for this year's Artmiabo International Festival was the art of Afrobeat, something you were heavily involved in. What was it about this festival in particular that made you decide to lend both your influence and your experience?
I think it's a couple of things. First of all, I'm a fan of Miabo and her work. Secondly, her husband is a friend for a long time. We've been trying to find ways to collaborate in sports, but we've leaned on each other for a long time. It must be 15 years plus. And he's one of the people I respect the most in terms of what he's done with his career and how he's represented himself. So as a couple that I respect and admire what they do, it wasn't even a question to me. And then, of course, Ed Kizzo is literally like my brother and partner who has ridden with me for 30 plus years. So when he calls, I tend to answer. So that kind of combination, plus, of course, what was being done, because I think honoring the legends is something that you always want to see happen. A lot of times in our environments in Africa, we don't honor the people that paved the way. We don't honor the people that made things happen, that made what you see today possible. So it's always good to see that happen. And of course, to be honored was a privilege. I never did what I did for that. But, we take every moment is a blessing.
Yes, thank you for that. We're actually going to come back to that with regards to the honoring of yourself and the legends. But we're going to move on to the more of the commercial and possibly cultural aspect of the Afrobeats movement and the music. So, as both a businessman and one who helped lay down the foundation for what we now know as the Afrobeats movement, could you perhaps give us an idea of the impact that the festival has or will have on the commercial and cultural aspects of Afrobeats and perhaps African music at large?
I think what it is that the festival began an important conversation and something that has been happening but maybe has not been highlighted, which is about what is the connection between African artists, African visual arts, okay, and the music. And the thing is this, if you're a fan of our music, then you have seen our videos, and you will see that within our videos, our music doesn't just come as music, right? You know, we're from Africa, and our music is form and function. It's ritual. Our music has purpose, and how we represent it is important. So what you find in the modern iteration is that the colors of Africa are coming through. So I call it Afrobeats culture. That's what's happening right now. The colors are coming through, the cuisine is coming through, the dance is coming through. You see the comedy sketches, you know, so kids 20 years ago who are living in London or in the States who have African descent were not necessarily proclaiming their Africanness, if you get what I'm saying. It wasn't cool to be African. I think part of the thing that we did was to change that perception, to make it cool to be African, to understand that Africans could be sex symbols, Africans were good looking, Africans were intelligent, mature, they could sell products. Because 20 years ago, these things were not taken to be real. It's taken for granted today with social media, but 20 years ago, I remember taking artists to London and being told, oh, why would I listen to these guys? Do you understand? So I think the most important thing now, the impact you see now is, if you're coming out of Nigeria alone, and of course the continent is massive, but just out of Nigeria, Nigerian musicians have well over 1 billion followers on social media. And social media has been a key differential that enabled Africans to break through the algorithms and the gatekeepers that kept us locked out of world music and world music revenues. It's still skewered, but the truth of the matter is nobody can ignore it anymore. Nobody can say it's a fad. Nobody can say it's not important. Everybody can see it's important. Everybody can see it's building. You know, you can see the touring is coming and more business is coming. Merchandise is starting to come. Products are starting to come. And I think that's where we're going now. I think we've validated the show. Now we're getting to the business, just to answer your question about the commercial side. And as the business grows, you see more platforms, more e-commerce, more products, more merchandise, more tours, more things coming from creators. And those are the things I look to see. But I think it's all coming, and it's globalizing at a fast rate. And we're in the middle, we're in the beginning of the African century and of the African epoch, because now it's coming from us, and we're beginning to have a level of ownership and curation in terms of what the future looks like.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. In fact, if I may be a bit more personal, one of the most interesting recent collaborations was Rema's song with Selena Gomez. And what I found most fascinating about that one was he's around my age, I think. So he would have likely grown up watching Selena Gomez, like growing up both as an actor and as a singer. So the fact that she, from what I understand, that she actually sought him out, and they had their song together, and it was almost surreal to watch. And just like the incredible boom that Afrobeats has been seeing all over the world, as you said, you know, breaking through those gatekeepers, becoming more profitable, marketable. Now it's like, okay, wait, I need to somebody more profitable, more prominent artists and businesses are going, okay, no, we need to interact with these people. We need to collaborate with these people. We need to, use their influence to help us as well. So I would definitely.
I think you're right. I think, look, if you were to go back 21 years ago, 22 years ago, when GSM was coming to Nigeria, the conversation was that, the telcos could get maybe 1 million lines in 5 years. If you got 1 million lines in 5 years, that was going to be success. Okay. Some of them got 1 million lines in 2 months. Do you understand? That is what has been happening with African creativity and African soft power. It's been repressed, right? Now it's just beginning to come. And the thing is, what we need is African governments and African institutions to invest into our soft power. If you check out, there's a platform that I'm involved with called African Soft Power. They have African Soft Power Week next week in Kigali. And that's what it's all about. It's all about How do we drive? Because let me tell you, right? YouTube is the biggest platform on the continent. Okay, they own everything. Everybody's on YouTube. The publishing companies and labels control our biggest artists. Do you understand? So Africans are being digitally colonized on round 2, and they need to wake up to this fact. We need to build our own platforms. We need to build our own tech. We need to utilize our capacity, and we need to invest in our stories. So when Africans are complaining about Netflix or Amazon, what you should ask yourself is, where's the African company that invested in our stories? Where's the African companies and countries that are backing African storytellers? Because at the end of the day, the world is shaped by narrative, and Africa and Africans have not invested in our narrative. Therefore, why are we complaining about the way we're represented? It's counterintuitive. So at the strategic level, at the national level, at the continental level, there is actually nothing more important than African soft power, because what that does is it reframes the narrative, gives identity to our people, frees the diaspora from being looked down upon, because that is a secondary problem caused by racism, right? And we can heal and build bridges. That is what our creative industries and our technology and innovation industries in Africa promise for the future of Africa and for the world. They have the propensity and the capacity to heal and to build and to innovate, because actually innovation and creativity are first of all home in Africa. And you can see that in Nok, you can see that in Egypt, the civilizations there. You can see it in Ife, you can see it in Igbo Ukwu, in the original bronze and cast steel control and iron making in Oka in the east of Nigeria. This is the beginning of man, and that is us. And we need to actually own it and begin to remember that so that we can tell our story.
Definitely. And that's incredible. That's definitely like a very important thing, investing in our own narrative, and just being able and taking control of that, of our own image, basically, because no one's going to do it for us. So I definitely thank you for that. Going back to the earlier point regarding the honoring and awarding of the various legends, yourself included in the Afrobeat space, how did it feel for you personally, as renowned and respected as you are? Like my mother, Miabo, she once referred to you. She told me, you're like the godfather of like African music. If somebody wants to break out, somebody wants to release a new song or a new album, they come to you to get your blessing. Like how did it feel for you to be awarded and honored at the festival, alongside many other greats such as Miss Onyeka Onwenu, Mr. Lemi Garioku, Mr. Benson Idonije, Mr. Ekiezer, and many others?
I think the thing is this, right? First of all, any award that you never applied for is a privilege, right? So for somebody to sit somewhere and to honor you based on what their perception of what they think you've done and how you've affected space, I'm thankful. To be honored in that company with those people at this time, that's a blessing. And then to be there present and to witness the performances, to be sitting there with Onyeka talking for a few hours, Onyeka getting up and singing at 72 and reminding everybody what a legend looks like and sounds like. I mean, that's just unbelievable. So for me, it's a pleasure and a privilege. When you do what we do, we didn't do it for awards. We didn't do it for that. We do it so our artists could win awards. We do it so our people could win awards. I remember the moments when Two-Face won the first award of the Nigerian and the MTV Europe Awards in 2005. I remember the band winning his first award in 2006 and bringing it to my home. Do you understand? That's what it's about. Wizkid, Burna Boy, Rayma that you mentioned. And I like the fact you mentioned she called him to jump on his song, right? It's his song, it wasn't her song. And everybody's trying to catch the wave. So yeah, to be part of the wave and to be part of the builders of the wave is a pleasure. I mean, that's what we did. That's what we did it for. And I'm so happy what I see now. I'm just proud. Burna Boy's in a couple of stadiums this year in South Africa. That's incredible. We want to see more of that, right? We want to see more African touring, more Nigerian touring, more of our people getting to participate in the experiences that we're creating so they can see and understand that they too can be on main stage, right? They don't have to be the artist. They could be the one directing the show, right? They could be the stylist. They could be the makeup artist. But it's an opportunity for everybody. That's the key message of the creative and cultural industries in Africa. I think that they could easily give Africa 100 million jobs over the next 5 years. When I say jobs, fixed-term employment, they're not 9 to 5, but give people the skills, empower them and enable them. And what they will create and innovate will continue to astound the world. Because what we are creating and innovating now, that came out of the music industry, nobody gave us anything, right? They were not. That's why I said it was collaboration. We built with South Africans. We built with the Ghanaians. We built with the Kenyans. We built on the continent first, then we went to London. And London is kind of like the second capital of Africa for various reasons, because flight connections are so bad on the continent. And from London, we pivoted to the world. Now we're in America, we're in Asia, we're in Indonesia, we're in Brazil. Do you understand? Because Nigerians are in 200 countries, right? And there are Nigerians in all these countries who have been acting as the ground promoters of the lifestyle, of the music, of the culture, unpaid, unheralded for 20 years, 25 years. DJ Abbas, that people like this in Cos Canino in New York, the guys in Joburg, the guys in Pretoria, the guys who promote, the guys who run security, all these people, the DJs, yeah? These are the people that have built this thing, that have enabled this thing to blow, to get to the point where it's at now. And the best thing about it is Nigeria is blessed with an endless pipeline of talent. Do you understand? A lot of people are looking for, get that superstar. We look at Diamond Platinum, he's incredible, right? We got like maybe 20 of him. Only 3 or 4 the world knows right now at the big level. But trust me, there's a bunch of guys coming that are Shake or Dumodu. There's so many talents coming. Area Star, that you just say to yourself, what happens if we had structured investment into Nigerians, into Africans, into the people, to unlock and impact and back that innovation, that creativity, that entrepreneurship that I call ICE, that sits within our DNA. That's what excites me, the possibilities of that.
Indeed, they are. Thank you very much, sir, for your insights. It was an honor to get to speak to you and just listen and hear you.
It's a pleasure, man. And by the way, I'm a fan of the books. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much.
I hadn't told you that. Keep writing.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, man.
You can find him on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. You can also catch his hit docuseries Journey of the Beats on Showmax and be taken on an incredible and insightful journey on the history of both Nigerian music and the Afrobeats movement as a whole, with accounts from many greats, both past and present. The festival has come and gone, but the podcast is still going. Please subscribe to be notified of new episodes.